Yeah. So. All right, let's call our meeting to order. We got to do the Pledge of Allegiance here. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have application Z 2022-15. Actually, before we get started with that, we'll do a roll call if you don't mind. Andy, if you want to do a roll call for us. Is your microphone on?
Mr. Brescia.
No problem.
Mr. Brescia.
Here.
Mr. Lynch.
Here.
Mr. San Francisco. Here. Jared.
Here.
Mr. Burzes and Mr. Silk are absent. You have your zoning solicitor, Mr. Auslander, and myself here before you this evening.
All right. And first up is application Z 2022-15. RJ Brescia, 19 Locust Street, requesting an extension from an approval granted on June 16th, 2022. Do we have anyone here for that application? And this is just an extension. Did they talk with anyone, I guess, for the township for the extension?
I believe that they had just sent a letter in asking for the continue or the extension, 6-month extension.
Okay.
There was a letter in the file.
So, anyone?
Yes, it's right. It's an exhibit. It's because of COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
I would just ask that the letter, the applicant be made part of the record and identified as township exhibit number 1 for the vote.
So
You have that letter. You want to make a motion there?
yeah. So we'll call the November 18th letter from RJ Brescia III, noted as applicant's exhibit A1. And then that being said, I make a motion to approve application Z 2022-15 and grant the 6-month extension.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next up is application Z 2022-32, Kevin and Kristine McKee, 112 Tyson Road. Pertaining to the subject property, the applicant is seeking a variance relief to allow home renovations within the front and side yard setbacks in accordance with sections 172-33B, 172-33B subsection 6, and section 172-141F. Do we have the applicants here? All right, Mr. McKee, if you want to take a seat up here and just press the button on your microphone to make sure that that is on. And before we get started, too, do we have, is the record file in order?
Files in order. If you could put it up on the screen, you'll see that there's the proof of publication that was advertised in Delco Times two occasions. The mailing list to all neighbors who received that, I noticed publication and posted.
All right, Sam, we good?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Based on the representation of our zoning officer, I ask that the record be marked with respect to the application and accompanying documents and evidence and exhibits presented by the applicant. Ask that be marked township exhibit number 1. The list of residents within 200 feet of the subject property be made exhibit township number 2. The proof of publication has indicated that tonight's meeting, which is advertised on 2 consecutive weeks, will be township exhibit number 3. And the actual picture of the posting upon the property, notice of tonight's meeting be marked as township exhibit number 4. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And do we have anybody here that wishes to make public comment on this application or wishes to be a party for testing? No one? All right. If we could have them both sworn in.
I do.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. McKee, if you want to take us through your application and what you are looking to do here. And again, is your microphone turned on screen?
Yes.
All right.
As of right now, our application shows that we are looking to extend the front porch And we are looking to add a stoop off of the north side of the property and a small deck off of the master bedroom on the south side of the property.
So is it this front middle section that we're looking at here is what you're?
So the front middle section that shows the line of 52-inch foot dimension off of the front of the property line is the extension of an 8-foot front porch shown at the front of the property. The top left shows a balcony off of the master bedroom, and the top right of that shaded area shows a 3-foot stoop off of the right rear of the property, extending off of the mudrooms to give a safe landing for people coming off of the back driveway.
So you're currently 60 feet with the front yard setback now, and then you're gonna be bumping out.
Yes, we're looking to bump out 3 feet past the existing structure to accompany a slightly larger front patio, along with allowing us to bring the front walkway to the driveway cleanly, not looking to exceed that either. We're going to push that back to from where the existing was.
The current, the setback required in the front yard is 60 feet, currently 56.
They're all irregular lots is the problem.
And we are proposing a distance of 52 feet.
Yeah.
The front yard.
And Andy, any concerns over this? I mean, I know seeing whether it looks like there's a couple different.
No, I don't
Distance.
necessarily have any concerns. I just a couple points of clarification. So, you know, you were first in front of you is dealing with the front yard setback, and secondly,
Yeah.
the applicant is correct, this is a non-conforming issue. Our ordinance speaks to any expansion. Actually, it speaks to the need for a special exception if there's not an expansion into a non-conforming yard. However, in this case, there would be, so the request is for a variance. One other point of clarification, on the side yard, you see on the left-hand side of the exhibit that's on the screen right now. I believe, and the applicant can correct me if I'm wrong, I think that there's not a current chimney, that the chimney extension on that side will be further encroachment into that side yard. And then they're going to continue along that existing non-conforming line. Which that's what we need the special exception on the side yard for the balcony. Second floor deck.
So that chimney bump out, that's non-existing.
Correct. So it's not going to be a chimney bump out per se. It's actually just going to be a doghouse build out for a non-venting propane fireplace. A fireplace for a propane. Yes.
So that's the only thing that's gonna be encroaching already into the side yard setback that's
Right,
non-conforming.
there's already existing non-conforming as far as that they want to bump out further with that projection, whether it be a chimney or a doghouse or anything else like that. It's still further encroachment into that side yard.
But my understanding is the encroachment does not expand the nonconformity, that is consistent with the pre-existing nonconformity.
That bump out would expand the existing non-conformity.
It would expand it into the backyard.
The fireplace itself will-
The chimney's on the side yard.
The fireplace bump out, that's actually, for some reason, it's not shaded exactly in this drawing, but that small left, right by the 20-foot
okay.
8-inch
So that is.
will be a 2.5-foot bump out towards our neighbor Teresa's property.
Towards the driveway.
No,
Yeah.
towards our neighbor's driveway, which is just dirt. And then her
Okay.
side is the non-driveway
Gotcha,
side as
okay.
well.
So if Steve, if you don't mind scrolling down to the third page on there.
Yes.
Mhm.
That should be shaded.
So is all the way over to the right, is that the balcony? that
Others,
talks-
so if you went to the other side view of the property.
But that section where the deck is now is that same side of the house where that bump
Yeah.
out's gonna be for the fireplace as well. And that's the balcony that's gonna be bumping out along with the existing
Yes, sir.
non-conforming, okay.
I'm sorry, that would be 2.5 feet
I believe,
approximately.
I believe it comes out to about 2.5 feet, 3 feet. I believe we're seeking 4 feet total. Thank you.
What is the current side yard setback there? Is that 20 feet that I'm seeing there now?
Well,
They're at
the
20 foot
requirement-
eight.
The requirement's 20 feet.
Okay,
Actually, I apologize. It's not, it's actually 25 on that side because we have an aggregate requirement of 45 feet. The opposite side yard setback is 20. They're not encroaching into that setback. But the opposite yard would have to be 25 feet, and it's currently not conforming in that regard. So whatever that is, a projection is going to encroach further into that non-conforming side yard setback.
gotcha. Has there been any contact with the neighbor on that side?
Both neighbors constantly, yes.
No negative contact. They do know that we're coming here today, because of the signs posted, and they also signed the signature, page that I sent them.
At the very bottom of this.
I have a copy of it if you.
Yeah, so
Yes. She is number 110
Okay.
on that side.
The list of neighbors is on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did label them. The one on the left side is left side. The one on the right. Electronic.
We have any questions on this? Like,
So I look at the view of the back, that photograph, and is that the rendering of what you're intending to do with the
Yes.
variance if it's received?
Yes, sir.
So it looks like a rear door entrance with a covered area.
Yes.
And on the other side, is it just the deck that you're putting out there?
It'll just be a balcony off of the master bedroom suite. Underneath of it will be a picture window out of the living room.
So neither one of those are enclosed structures.
Negative.
The one question I had, and this really doesn't go to that issue. When you go and pull up the driveway, and I thought about when you put that new portion in that has the access.
Mhm.
Are you still going to be able to use that left side of the garage?
Absolutely. It's not going to intrude any further into the back that's existing. As of right now, there's 5 feet that is all of dirt that's in a fenced in area.
Just look like it's going to be a tight squeeze. Not that that
Nope.
affects this, but
No, it's actually doesn't affect it
Okay.
at all.
And if you look at the site plan, you do see that there's. Quite a
yeah, but
distance.
when I was out there, I'm thinking if that thing's there and I try and pull my car in and out, for me, it'd be a challenge.
Luckily, my
Maybe
wife
me.
is an incredible driver.
She gets that side of the garage. Okay.
The whole driveway, it's a whole driveway is what it's trying to say.
And it's a very deep lot. I mean, it's oversized football field deep. It's
Yeah.
334 feet, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's narrow, the setback, it's. kind
Yeah.
of-
And even though you're putting a second floor on it, the part that you need the variance for is not going to have a second floor to it. Is that correct? Other than the deck being at that level, but
Correct.
the entranceway that you're building is just single story. And then it's the deck.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I have.
all any questions or? Sam, do we need to make mention if we're to approve this, because it's not part of what they're asking for about the bump out for the fireplace, or
Well, I think it's part of their application.
it's in there, just not in the drawing then, I guess?
Well, it's an exhibit that we've offered.
Okay.
offered it to evidence, so they're making that request. You can certainly consider it.
All right,
yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the application Z 2022-32 as testified and as described in the application.
is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right,
Thank you.
motion
Ron.
carries.
General conditions that we normally.
General
Yeah.
conditions, yeah.
So good luck with your addition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we have on the agenda for tonight. Next up is application Z 2022-34. Brian Sutcliffe, 3435 Horton Road. The applicant is seeking variance relief to allow a fence beyond the frontmost portion of the dwelling in accordance with section 172-104A and section 172-104B. Do you want to step forward, Mr. Sutcliffe, am I saying?
Well, here's the way of business.
Okay. And
I'm
which,
off anyway.
fair enough. All right,
I did some thinking in Boston. But
You know.
is file in order.
Files in order, we have the proof of publication, it was advertised in the Delco Times on two occasions. The notice that was mailed to everyone within 200 feet of the property line and the posting of the property.
Chairman, based on the representation of our zoning officer, I'd ask that the following exhibits be offered into evidence. The application and accompanying documents and exhibits presented by the applicant be township exhibit number 1. List of the residents within 200 feet of the subject property provided notice tonight's meeting as township exhibit number 2. The proof of publication for 2 consecutive weekly publications in the Delaware County Daily Times as township exhibit number 3. And finally, the picture of the posting of the property of tonight's meeting as exhibit township exhibit 4.
All right. Thank you very much. Do we have anyone here that wishes to make public comment on this application or wishes to be a party for testing? No one? All right, we want to have.
I'm sorry? Yes,
And is your microphone lit up in green over there?
it's on green.
All right.
Cynthia. AKA Boss. Sorry.
All right, do you want to take us through your application and what you're looking for here?
Well, so what we were trying to do, with, not being very familiar with the process, we came in with the application. We're told it would take 2 weeks and we would get, I guess, a permit for what we were doing is taking out an existing fence and putting in a fence in the exact same place. The exact same area, the same length and width and, the company we hired, the fence company we hired, as the process was going on, I think we're close to the 2 weeks. They called us on a Friday and said, can we start on Monday? And we explained to them, well, we don't have a permit yet. They said, well, we do a lot of work with the township here and they know us and it'll be okay. I said, he goes, we'd like to start Monday. So they got there Monday, my husband and I run the driveway and so we can start, I guess, taking it down, but we can't start putting anything up yet. Don't worry, we're calling the township. And the next day they're there and just installed it all. So we.
Was the application already in, like you had already filed or just?
It was close to 2 weeks already being in, but like, we were just going by, not being familiar with the fence and everything. I mean, we were just replacing exactly what was there. So we thought, okay, so we didn't know all these other parameters and stuff, and we were taking the advice of a fence company that we trusted. Well, we thought they knew what they were talking about and they told us.
Neighbor rat out.
No. His dog's gonna come with me if I needed him to, so. His father wants that fence up too, just as much as we do. They're a little harder than us. We're all good drivers, but we're nervous when they're backing in, they might go right into our driveway. So unfortunately, it didn't start off, I guess, on the right foot when, we entrusted, I guess, in this fence company who we thought was very familiar with, well, apparently they are familiar with this township and they do it all the time. So, sorry for that portion of it. But I believe we submitted everything that we needed to. My husband's Yeah, if you can really read it, but
Not bad, we've seen worse.
really,
A lot worse. Yeah, so we're dealing with front yard fence.
It's on the same road in the middle variance we dealt with.
Yeah.
Many times.
So is,
Our ordinance, anytime you replace an existing fence, there's no protection. Our ordinance requires it to comply with the current standards that state nothing beyond the front most portion of the dwelling. That's why that note's on the plan. And unfortunately, I think the contractor had a slot in the schedule and fit it in, and
okay,
I think it's any fault with the homeowner,
yeah,
but here we are.
yeah, and this was to replace an existing one then, so that's what, again, just,
I understand it.
yes, we didn't go any further. Exactly where we removed it is exactly where the new one was put in. A little too early, obviously, because I realized that the permits weren't through.
okay. Anybody have any questions?
Neighbors, the whole thing, everybody's pleased with the fence.
Oh, yes, I mean,
No
yeah,
complaints.
actually, some neighbors haven't talked in a long time, and in many years, like the ones across the street came out and just said, we just want to tell you how beautiful your fence is. I'm like, don't like it too much yet, I still need to make sure we can keep it.
What are you doing at
But no, we
PVC or?
comments from many people, like I said, I haven't really seen or spoke to in a long time in the neighborhood.
So you bought the house in when?
Oh, 23 years ago,
23 years ago.
something like that.
And did you install the fence or was the
No, the
fence
fence
already?
was there, it was there since we bought it.
All right. And was there anything else along that line?
There were bushes there was the fence and then a lot of bushes that were growing into the fence. So we cut them down to the point where they couldn't be trimmed anymore. Because they were cut, so, they were just growing so wide and then you cut them, so. It was just like tree branches and it looked terrible. That's why we said, well, let's remove all the bushes. And then the fence was so old, it was a chain link fence. So that was like getting corroded and it was. It was not nice to look at.
So the fence they put up,
Yes,
that went as far down as the end of the bushes were?
exactly where the other fence stopped is where and started is exactly where it's in the exact same place as the other fence.
And where did that other fence stop? Did it stop at the end of the bushes?
Oh, yes, well, yes.
Or did it extend
No,
beyond the
our
bush?
the bushes started and the bushes grew around both, the fence started here and all the bushes grew on the fence. So you couldn't really see the fence because these big beautiful
Right.
bushes were growing on it.
Right.
So it
So
started-
trying to figure out if the fence is consistent with what was there before. I'm trying to figure out if the fence, the old one, went down as far as the end of the bushes towards Horton.
The street, yes.
It did.
Oh, yes, so where this fence started is exactly where the other one started.
And you could see that fence at some points.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you could see it sort of through, I guess, I don't know, Stephen might be able to see it more on his side. Ours was just the overgrown bushes that were,
And who removed the fence? The people who installed the new one?
who installed the new one?
No, who removed the old one, the chain link fence?
Oh, the people who installed the new one.
Did you have any pictures taken of the situation beforehand? Since these
Oh,
guys
yes.
came out early?
Like when the bushes were taken out and then the other fence that was there?
Yeah.
Pictures of that.
Could I see those?
Yes,
pictures?
it might take me a second, just,
That's
You don't,
okay.
by chance, could you bring in the former homeowners to testify?
unfortunately, yeah,
I'm kidding.
I'd have to find out where to dig them up. but-
Before you do that,
I don't know if it'd like that if I had to,
your neighbor has a fence also, correct? Like that connects to that, to the left side or no? That's
to the
not
left side. No, this fence is on the right side.
the right side, yeah, the right side. So is there another fence that your neighbors have?
After that, to their backyard, there's a
Right.
fence, yes.
So,
So this is just around the driveway.
so it's, okay, all right,
Because our driveway pulls in, so
Yeah.
it's our backyard and then around the driveway.
okay.
So I'm sure I can find pictures because I looked so weird when the bushes were removed, so if I could just remember. Just start that. Sorry, I take pictures too much. For accident. I do have them when all the things are out, I'm sorry. Like I'm on the spot here, I probably won't find it because. Okay, this is the beginning, let me just see. Okay, who should I bring them to?
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. So this is.
Just to get a sense of where it was.
So this isn't from the street, that's from our driveway, from our garage. So there's, that's like Steve's house. next
This,
to us.
could you mind, you know.
No.
pass it on down.
This is what we were looking at. That's why we were asking.
Yes.
So was the fence,
The fence is right there. It's inside of that. There's bushes.
okay.
And there is another, yeah.
Hmm.
So it's inside, it was inside of those bushes.
Yeah, just trying to get a sense of how far down the driveway it went.
Exactly. You can see it right there. That's the old fence.
Don't
Right
touch
here.
my email.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
just kidding.
Hold on a second. So it's right here. The fence is inside of all those
That makes
bushes.
sense. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else?
My neighborhoods do the same thing. Like a black bucket.
I feel like we should ask you for pieces of the old fence right now to show us, but is there any other, any other questions on this application? Oh. Did we get that on the record?
I wanted that little street, so it blended into the bushes, but my husband, he won that. war. Yes, I agree with you.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the 2022-34. The seeking the variance beyond the fence portion dwellings according to section 172. A 104B and any other zoning ordinance.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. And all the
Standard
standard
conditions.
conditions, yes. All right, motion carries. Like we have any other